Okay. So how to add Anil, how to add multiple SQL users, okay, in a customized server role. So if you want to add multiple users, one way is either you have to run the query, or every time you have to go to that logins and you have to go to the server roles and you have to select that particular server role. Okay. Or else you can generate one query and you can write the same query for multiple users and you can run the whole query at a time, so that it will help you to add multiple users at a time. Okay. Otherwise, every login, for example, if 10 logins are there, double click on each login, go to server role section and select that role and click OK. Like that you can do. Okay, Anil?
So, okay.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Fine. So now let's jump into the database side, guys. Till now we just covered on the server role. Okay, server side, server level security we covered. Now we are jumping into the next level, which is database level security. Okay, now we are discussing database level security. Right. So now you know that if I create any login, by default he can access the SQL server. Correct? Any login, if I create any login, a sample login also, new login. For example, if I create a login for, okay, uh, Manasa, okay, Manasa, sorry, not Windows login. Okay, any login is fine. But for SQL login, for Windows login, again I have to create a Windows user. So that's why I'm just trying with the SQL login. Guys, permissions wise, both the logins are same. Okay, both the logins are same permissions wise. I'm just creating a normal login. I didn't add her to any of the roles. Okay, I didn't add her to any of the roles. Still, Manasa can connect to the SQL server. Okay, that's how it was designed. But Manasa cannot access any of the objects now. Okay, I'm disconnecting Vamshi. I'm trying with Manasa. So this time I'll add Manasa. So next, I'll give the default password. Immediately, I'll get the change password screen. Okay, so I'm giving new password. Okay, so now Manasa can connect to SQL Server. I didn't give any type of access to Manasa, but she is able to connect to SQL Server. Why? Because that's a default behavior of any login. By default, any login can connect to SQL Server, but Manasa cannot access any of the databases. She don't have permissions. Okay, she don't have permission. So now let's jump into the database level, how she will get the access to the databases, in how many ways she will get the access, what kind of access she will get on the database level, how to add access on the database side, how to remove access. All these things will be discussed, guys. Okay. Now, if you go to this database level, right? So each and every database, if you go to the security, this is a administrator connection. Okay. Don't think like I'm using Manasa connection. Administrator, which is having a complete sysadmin access. So that's why he's able to access the database. So this is a database level access, right? So go to database level. Any database, you can see security. And if you go to this users, you can see who are all can access this database, can see in this user section. So who are there in this list, they all can access this database. Okay. Right, guys? Who are all there in this list, they all can access this database. So Manasa is not there in this list. If you remember this diagram, okay? So what is that? Whenever I create, whenever I give access to any login on any database, what will happen, guys? Whenever I give access to any login on any database, what will happen?
Default user will be created.
User will be created.
Correct. A user will be created on behalf of that login. That user will help to read the data and write the data from the database to the database, guys. This is how this concept will work. Okay. Right. So this we discussed in the last weekend, right? Yeah. This one. Yeah. Okay. So whenever I create any login and whenever I give access to this login on any of the database, automatically a user will be created on the particular database. This user will help to write the data and read the data to this database, guys. This is how this will help. Okay. So now I didn't give access to Manasa. Imagine this is Manasa. Manasa, I just created an entry to her in the server. So Manasa can access the SQL server, can connect the SQL server. but Manasa cannot access the database. If I want to give the access to Manasa, what I have to do? Either I have to add Manasa to the sysadmin role. Are you getting the point, guys? Who can access the databases? A sysadmin can access the databases, but for accessing one database, I cannot give sysadmin to Manasa, right? Is it clear? Is it a valid action, guys? For accessing one
No, it's not
database,
efficient.
for accessing
No.
one database or one table, how can I give access to Manasa as a sysadmin? She can misuse, right? Knowingly or unknowingly, she can misuse. So that's why if the user wants to access the server level access will give. If user wants to access the database, only database access will give. If user wants to access the table, only the table access will give. Okay, in that way we can restrict the user, right? So now let's go to the server database roles. So now if you see here, if I expand users, I can see, and if you expand the roles, I can see database roles, guys. These are the database roles. Okay, these are the database roles. Okay, there are total 10 database roles, total 10 database roles, guys. 9 plus 1 database roles are there. Okay, database roles, total 9 plus 1 database roles. Database roles are there in SQL Server. Okay, total 9 plus 1. Right. Right. So what are those database roles, guys?
DB creator,
Hmm.
access admin, backup.
Right. You can see here access admin, backup operator, data reader, data writer, DDL admin, deny data reader, deny data writer, DB owner, security admin. Same public also will be there in the database roles. Okay, public also will be there in the database roles. Okay, so let me check. This is the one D4 as DBO. DBO, data reader, data writer, deny data reader, deny data writer. I'll tell you guys, don't worry. I'll explain one by one. Okay. Access admin, security admin. Next, DDL admin, backup operator, and DB owner. Okay, DB owner. Correct, guys. Okay. So, and of course, public. So that's why D4, data reader, data writer, you have to add deny data reader, deny data writer, D4. As DBO, A, access admin, yes, security admin, D, DB owner, DDL admin, backup operator, and finally DB owner, like this you can see. Okay. Access admin, backup operator, data reader, data writer, DDL admin, deny data reader, deny data writer, DB owner, security admin. These are the different roles we have in the database roles. Yes, these are the different database roles we have. So to check the permissions of server role, we have one query. Correct? What is the query? Can anyone tell me what is the query to see the permissions of a server role?
Select star from this dot.
SP?
No.
SP, yes.
SP underscore SRV roles permissions.
Very good. Okay. So to see the permissions of each role, we can use that SP underscore SRV role permission. In the same way, this is also database role, guys. Database level permissions are grouped together here. Server role means server level permissions are grouped together. Database role means database level permissions are grouped together. Okay. So now to see the permissions of each DB role, we have a query, guys. SP underscore DB fixed role permission. వర్షం పడుతుంది కదా అందుకు నాకొద్దే కంపుదానా నేను బ్రష్ చేయలేదు థ్యాంక్ యూ like so guys, DB fixed role permission, SP underscore DB fixed role permission, and you have to simply drag this role Okay, we can see the permissions of this role by executing this query. Okay, so what kind of permissions are there, guys? A member of this role can drop the users. He can grant database access, revoke database. Guys, no need to remember, just to show you what kind of permissions are there. Access means he can able to access, right? So he can drop the user, means whoever there in this database, he can drop. A member of this role can drop, and he can give this database access. Guys, database level permissions, database role permissions or roles are limited to that respect to database. Giving access on this database, that doesn't mean you can access this database also. No. If you are part of AdventureWorks data reader role, you can utilize or enjoy the permissions only for this database. You are restricted now. You are restricted to use this database now. That doesn't mean you can access other database also. Database roles means that doesn't mean you can access all the databases. No, that is wrong perception. If I added you in one role of that respective database, you are limited to this database only. Otherwise, why we will call it as a database level security? If you are able to perform all the activities on all the databases, that will come under server level activity, server level role. I am restricting you for the database level, so you can access. If you want, I can access you to, I can give access to the AdventureWorks. If you want, I can give access to Dell Production also. On multiple databases, I can add you. But giving access on one database will allow you to access only that database. That doesn't mean you can access other databases also. Is it clear, guys? That's why it's called database level. Okay, right?
Yep.
So a member of this role can access the database. He can grant access the database access. He can revoke the DBA access, and he can delete or drop the users of this particular database, guys. So I'll give you the demo with one role. With you can see the demo. Let's try with the backup operator. Let's see what and all permissions are there. So he can, of course, you know that a member of this role. Okay, if you are a member of this role, what you can do, you can take the backup of this database. You can just take the log backup also. I'll tell you, as of now, I'm not covering these guys. Why? Because the next concept after this, the next concept will be backup restore. So there I'll tell you what is backup, what is restore, how many types of backups are there. So backup database is one type of backup, backup log is one type of database. So all these things will be discussed after the backup. So I'm just showing what and all permissions are there. Okay. Now let's explain with the, I'll give demo for this, guys. Okay, data reader. So now using the name, what do you think, guys? What kind of permissions will be there for this role? Guess it.
This guy will be able
Select the
to
permission.
do the select
Reader. He can read the data. How he can read the data? What query will help you to read the data?
Select query.
Very good. Okay, if you see here, only one permission, that is select permission on any object. If you are a member of this data reader role, listen carefully. If you are a member of this data reader role, you can read all the objects of this database. See here, select permission on any object. That means if you are a member of this data reader role, then you can access all the tables in this database, guys. All the tables in this database. See how many tables are there? All the tables in this database. In the next class, I'll show you how to restore the sample database. This is the sample database I just restored, guys, for a kind of a real-time tables kind of. See, if you open any of the tables, you can see some real-time kind of data. Okay, so you can see like this. Okay, let me show you the table with a good number of records. See, kind of a real-time data kind of thing that you can see. This is called your sample database, guys. So I'll tell you how to download, how to restore the sample database and all. I'll explain in the next class. In the restore class, I'll explain. Okay. So if you are a member of data reader role, you should be able to access all the tables in that database, guys. All the tables in that database. Is it clear, guys? Now is it clear? Right? So now what I'll do, I'll try to access this database as a Manasa. Manasa, you know that she don't have access on the AdventureWorks. So when she tries to access this, she will get the error, no doubt. Why? Because she don't have access. So here two things we are going to cover. One is giving access and allowing her to access the objects. See See, creating logins. What is the meaning of creating logins?
That the person will be able to access the server
Correct. That doesn't mean he can able to open the databases and all, right?
objects.
So
No.
creating login will give you access to the particular database. I mean to say a particular server. That doesn't mean you are allowed to do everything in the server. No. When I
Yeah.
create any login, by default, you will get access to the SQL server. You can connect. That's it. You cannot do anything. In the same way, if I give access to database, what will happen? I can open the
You can-
database. That doesn't mean I can
database.
read all the tables. Let me show you the demo. Okay. So what I'll do now, I'm going to give the access to Manasa on this database. How to give access Manasa or any login on any respective database? Double click on the login. Okay. So go to, if you want to give access on the server level, see, if you want to give access on the server level, you will go to server roles and you will give the respective roles. Okay, don't think a login should be part of any of the role. By default, she or he will be part of public. That's enough. Public is the minimum server role. Okay, so now she wants to access one database. So what I have to do? Listen carefully. When she can access the database, when a user is created, that means I have to map one user. In which section? Go to user mapping. Okay, click OK. Now on which database I want to give access to Manasa?
Adventure work.
Adventure work.
Select the database. See what is creating, guys. What it is? What is this?
User.
That
User.
user.
User. Can I rename the user?
Yes.
No. Here no.
For Manasa login, can I create only Manasa user or I can create a different user also?
Now for Manasa, you can create only Manasa. Only.
Will it allow us to rename the Manasa user? Guess it. Just
No.
guess it. No issue. Guess it.
No.
Don't allow?
No.
No, I
No,
don't
sir.
think. Then I don't know what is the use of doing it.
That is correct. There is no use of doing it. But will it allow or not?
No, I don't think so. Should be.
It will allow.
It should allow, yeah. By using comma, semicolon.
No, don't need Manasa. I can add extra A, but there is no use of it. Why? Because if someone is coming to you, Manasa, now you just changed the username to Manasa to some other name. Okay, Manasi. Imagine Manasi. I just changed her name to Manasi. So now, what is the issue now? Manasa, she can able to access the database, whatever permissions she has, she can enjoy. There is no doubt in that. Now, at one point, Manasa coming to you, hey, DBA team, this is not working for me, or something is not working for me. What we will do? We'll see whether login
You
is
will
there
check
or
the
not.
server login.
Correct. First, we'll check the login, and the next step is next we'll see whether the database user is there or not. Right? Correct.
Yes.
So
Yes.
for Manasa, what I will expect as a DBA Manasa user, for Manasa login, I will expect Manasa user. But if I
Manasa.
see Manasi user, what I'll think? Okay, probably she don't have access. Correct, right?
Hmm.
So we can edit the usernames, we can change the usernames, but that is not a valid action. Okay, so there is no use of it. It will create extra confusion. Okay, guys, but I can edit it. Okay, default schema, as you know that DBO I'll add here. Right now, I don't give any access to Manasa here. I'm just creating Manasa user. That's it. User mapping. That's it. Earlier, Manasa, see here under users, Manasa is created for which database? AdventureWorks. If you go and check Dell production, can you see Manasa in that?
No.
No, why?
No, because you haven't created Manasa.
Correct.
yet.
In the
No,
user
no.
mapping, I selected only AdventureWorks database. I didn't select other databases. Correct. So now Manasa can access AdventureWorks. See here, earlier when I'm trying to expand this database, she got the error, right? Now refresh it. Now she can expand. She can expand, but can she see the table says? Can she is able to see the table?
She won't be able to see the
No.
objects.
But if you, in the other hand, if you expand, see how many tables are there. I can able to see all the tables. No, this is Dell production, guys. AdventureWorks.
Adventurers.
See how many tables are there. These many tables are there. An administrator can see all these tables, but Manasa cannot see all these tables. Why? Manasa don't have permissions. And see, earlier Manasa, she's not able to expand this database, but she's able to expand this database now. But can she access Dell production? Can she
No.
able to expand? No, she'll get
No.
the error. See, IPL, she'll get the error. Why? Because she
No.
don't have access. So one thing is clear. If I gave access on SQL Server, you can access the SQL Server, but you cannot access all the objects in the SQL Server. If I gave access on any database, you can open the database, you can access the database, but that doesn't allow you to access all the objects in the database, guys. Is it clear now?
Mm.
Everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now let me go
Absolutely.
with the demo. Okay, so now what I'll do, earlier she don't have access to read. Somehow she know the tables. She cannot see the tables here, but somehow she just know the table name. Imagine she just know this table name, database log she want to see. Somehow, maybe she just watched some other her manager or colleague screen. There, please be muted. I'm getting a lot of disturbance. Please follow me. Yeah. So now somehow she got the table name. Now she's trying to check whether she's able to access the table or not. Select star from database log. She's trying to access this. Okay, in which database it is? In AdventureWorks, right? She's trying to access. AdventureWorks only, right? Let me refresh the whole server. Okay, so now it will allow. Why? Because that is Manasa connection, right? It should allow. She has access, right? Manasa. Okay. She's able to expand, but she's not able to change. Okay, that's okay. So she's trying like this. You know, right? Without changing the name here, we can do that. What is that? AdventureWorks dot something database log. Now she's trying to expand. She's trying to execute like this. What kind of error you will get it? Oh, why?
That Vamshi.
Thank you. That's what I'm worried. Why she's not allowing like this? Okay, I'm opening new query with Manasa. Okay, now she can change the database now. Yeah, this is working now. But if she's trying to change other database, it will throw the error. Okay, yeah. So now she's trying to select star from database log. She's trying to access. Somehow she knows the data table name. She's trying to access what it is doing. You can expect. Why? Because she don't have access on the tables. She has only access on the database. That doesn't mean she can access all the tables. No. See here, the select permission was denied, guys. Is it clear? Now what I'll do, I'm going to give access to Manasa on this. I'll add Manasa. Who is responsible to run the select permission, guys? You can see answer on the screen.
Data reader.
If you are a member of which role, it will allow you select permission, data reader. So what I have to do, I have to add Manasa to the data reader role. Okay, so how to add it? User mapping. Already I gave access, right? Click OK. Select the database, guys. Here it will be very important. It is very important by default. If you select some other database and if you give reader access or writer access, she can access other databases. So select the database again. And this time I'll add her to data reader role. Click OK. Earlier, she don't have select permission. You can see select permission was denied. And now if you run this, she can able to read the data. Clear, guys? Like that she can see. Earlier she cannot see all the tables. See, now she should be able to see all the tables. Whatever table you want, you can run it. Okay, whatever table you want, randomly I'm picking up this table, she can run it. Clear, guys? A member of DB data reader, what she can do or he can do. A member of a data reader can do read operations. A member of data reader can do select queries, can run select queries. That is the use of the data reader. Is it clear, everyone? Everyone? Guys, so silent.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Sharma. Yes.
Yeah, okay, so now this is how it will work, guys. So in the same way, if I want to do writer and all, I can. So, yes. Right. So now,
Sharma, I have.
yeah, please.
Yeah, go
for
ahead, Suresh.
SQL,
Yes, I know it's you.
okay, for SQL developers, we need not to give any server level role permission, no, sir? I mean,
Depends.
may not be necessary.
No, we cannot confirm. See, how can you confirm for developer? We don't give any server role. See, if it is a custom server role, default server roles generally we don't give them. Okay, to give it to them. But if it's a custom server role, we should be able to give it to them, right? So we cannot confirm that for developers means we don't give server roles, we'll always give database roles, nothing like that. Depends upon their requirements. Mostly we'll go with the custom server roles. Why? Because developers, right? Maybe 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 permissions will be there. Every time who will give. So I'll simply created a one custom server role or custom database roles also will be there. I can add him. But your question is whether a developer can be part of server role. The answer is yes, based on his responsibilities. He can be part of the server role also.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Shanmugh, I have a question here. Like in the server roles, the highest is the server sysadmin, and the second highest is obviously deny. So like that, do we have a hierarchy in the database
Yes.
roles as well?
We are going to cover. Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Guys, is it clear? Data reader, earlier she's not part of data reader, so she is unable to read the data. Now she is part of data reader, so she is able to read the data, guys. Okay.
Sharmak sir,
Yes, please.
suppose I have created an user.
Hmm.
I will give the all permissions to all databases from one owner as a owner.
DB owner. Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
Is it possible at one time?
Anil, if the answer for your question is it is possible if you are going to run a query. See, script, with the help of script, you can do anything.
Okay.
Only thing is
Shanmugh,
you have to write the script.
ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఓనర్ కి ఇప్పుడు మా బాస్ అడుగుతాడు ఫుల్ పర్మిషన్ నాకు డేటాబేస్ కావాలనేసి ఒక యూజర్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తారు. క్రియేట్ చేసిన వెంటనే అది అన్ని డేటాబేస్ లో ఆయనకి అలో ఇస్తారా?
That is not the point here. What you can do is depends. If he really wants to access all the databases, yes. But if you don't want to access, if you want to restrict him on a single database or on set of databases, you can restrict him. If you want to give access on all the databases, you can access. I mean to say, you can give access to him to access all the databases. So that depends upon the user. Venkat, please be muted. That depends upon the user requirements. So if user should be able to access all the databases, no one is going to restrict. Okay, so why? Because whenever we are giving access, we don't blindly give the access. Okay, so someone comes to you, you don't know him. The organization, thousands of people will be there. Don't know who is accessing SQL Server. Someone can send an email, hey, Anil, can you please give DB owner access on this database? What you have to do? What you have to do, Anil? What is the first thing that you have to do? Okay, chalo, no problem. I'll give you the access. I'm going for a tea break. Once my tea is done, I'll give you the access. This is how we are going to deal. No. What we have to do, guys, here? We have to first authenticate him. What is the authenticity of accessing this database as a DB owner? Who is going to authenticate? Out of 10,000 users, he is one user. How we can authenticate? Who can do that? His manager. So what we have to ask? No problem, Anil. No problem. User, I can give you the access, but I need an approval from your manager. If something goes wrong, who is answerable here? That manager who approved this activity. So whenever if someone is coming to you and if he is asking the access, what we have to ask? Approvals first. Then on what kind of database, what kind of objects, what kind of access you need, everything should be clearly mentioned in the ticket. So two things that you have to keep in mind while giving the access. One is approvals. Second one is ticket. And in that ticket, it should be clearly mentioned. Okay, some people can ask select permission in the approval mail and they might add insert, update, delete in the ticket. So you have to validate both approvals and tickets both are matching or not. So in this scenario, the answer is yes. If we really should access all the databases, you have to give. You cannot block him. Okay, you cannot block him. Why? Because his manager approved. Okay, this guy is a valid guy to access all the databases. Our work is whatever work developers will tell to us that we have to execute. That's it. You cannot say why you are going to access all the database. You cannot confirm. Their manager will take care that particular headache and all. Your work is once it is valid, once it's approved from their manager, you can able to give access on all the databases, whatever access they want. Okay, so the answer is at a time you can give permissions on all the databases, one thing. And second thing is, if he really needs access, he's having a valid approvals, you can give the access to him. Okay. Yeah. Question.
Shanmukh, like, I have one question here. As a DBA, like in organization, for instance, if someone has truncated or deleted a table, is there any possibility like we can track it or trace it? If yes, where do we find that information?
We can do that. We can do that using custom scripts. We can do that. Okay, there is no direct way to go and check here and there. No, there is no separate settings like that to track it. Either profiler, using profiler, there is a tool called profiler. Using profiler, you can do that. Or there are some DMVs, dynamic management views. Using that DMVs, you can do that. Or in the Google, lot of custom scripts are there. Using custom scripts, you can track it. Or we have third-party tools. If your organization is using third-party tools, you can track it using those third-party tools.
Okay.
Okay. Hello guys, clear? Any questions, doubts?
No, Shanmukh.
Yeah. Okay, so
Sir, in
yes,
any small, sorry.
no problem.
Some general question. In any small organization, what will be the DBA team size?
This will be discussed at the end of the session, sir, Suresh. We have some general questions like what is your team size, where is your office located, in which shifts you are working currently. Okay, there are some general technical questions are there. What is your database size? How many servers you are handling? Okay, so how many production servers? How many non-production servers? Where is your office located? In which building? In which floor? How to answer those questions? These are like separate non-technical questions, but important questions. Okay, they will ask you to check whether you are genuine or fake. So there is a separate session on this. We'll discuss all these things. Okay, Suresh.
Okay.
So the short answer is from 1% to 100 dBs also. The quick answer, if you want, a team can have 1 dBA to 100 dBs. There is no limit. 100 dBs to 100 dBs depends upon their project. Generally, average 1 to 20 dBs average. Okay, the quick answer is. But this will be discussed at the end of the sessions. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Clear, guys?
Yeah.
Questions? So in that way, you can find the permissions of a database role. Okay, using that query sp_srv role permissions. Okay, sp_db, sorry, sp_db fixed role permission. Using this role, we can find the permissions of a particular database role. Okay, so now if you want to see for writer, so guess it, guys, what a data writer can do. Guess it.
He can insert.
It can insert the data.
What and all
Yeah.
write operations you can consider. What and all commands you can consider as a write operations.
You can insert, you can delete, you can update.
Very good.
Set
Okay.
command.
Insert, update, delete. These three operations are write operations, guys. Okay. Now, if you execute, see here. A member of this role can delete. A member of this role can insert. Then a member of this role can update. Okay, can update. So if I add any member to this role, or Manasa, if I add Manasa to this role, data writer role, Manasa can insert the records in all of the tables in this database. She can update the records of all the tables. She can delete the records of all the tables. Why? Because database level, if you are part of this role, the whole database level, whatever, how many objects are there, no matter how many objects are there, on all the objects you can perform delete, insert, update operations, guys. Okay. Clear, guys? Any questions, doubts? Right. And next role is data reader, data writer. Okay. DDL admin. DDL admin. What a member of this role can do. Okay.
Create, alter, drop.
truncate.
Wow.
He can do 12 operations, guys. All DDL, grant, revoke, deny, clean table, show statistics, all these things you will get in performance tuning, guys. Don't worry. Just to show you, only one thing that you should know is truncate table. Truncate. What is the meaning of truncate, guys?
Is deleting
Basically, empty the
the
table.
All the
Deleting
objects
tables,
there.
schemas.
What is the
Delete table
difference
without
between
deleting the table itself.
what is the difference between delete, drop, and truncate? Interview question.
Drop, it can delete entire table only.
Okay, very good.
Truncate
Delete
means
and
it delete data,
Hmm.
The
but
records,
the
delete the
structure remains
records.
same.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, so delete can delete the records one by one. Okay, one by one. But the table structure and the objects will exist. Okay, clear? But the table structure and the respective objects on tables, again we have respective objects like indexes, statistics, guys. Okay, I'll show you. Will still exist if you delete it. Okay, if you delete the records, only the records inside the table will be deleted. See here, let me show you the example. So now if you see here table, if you just go to table, go to any table. If you expand table, see again you have objects inside the table. Statistics is one object, indexes is one object. So if you delete the records inside this table will exist, but the records inside the table, for example, how many records are there? Okay, so total one record is there. Okay, so if I delete this table, I mean to say the records inside the table, this record will be deleted, or all the records can be deleted, but the table will remains exist, guys. So if the table is existed, the objects inside the table, see what are the objects are there inside the table: indexes, triggers, constraints, keys, columns, and indexes, statistics, all the objects will still exist. If I delete the records, table will be there, and table objects will be there, but the data inside the table will be deleted, guys. Clear? Is it clear? Delete operation?
Yeah,
Everyone.
yes.
So drop means what?
it will drop that object.
And delete
The
is
entire table.
it's a rollback
Yeah.
operation. Delete is a rollback operation. You can roll back the delete query. Drop, what it will do? Drop will drop the entire table, including the objects. Okay, the whole entry will be deleted. The whole, if I drop this table, the whole table will be dropped. If there is no entry of this table, the objects inside this table also will be dropped, guys. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Drop will drop the whole table with the respective objects also, including the objects also. Okay, objects in the sense of indexes, statistics, like that example. Drop is also rollback operation. You can roll back the drop also. Okay, means you can cancel by mistake. You just someone triggered that drop operation, guys. Suddenly he changed his mind. You can roll back it. Okay, whereas truncate. So you know the difference between delete and drop, right? Delete will delete the records one by one. One by one, the table structure will exist, all the objects will exist. Drop will all completely, it will drop the whole object. So the respective objects also will be dropped. Truncate, what it will do? It will
Table structure.
Cannot roll back.
deallocate
The memory.
pages where the table will be stored. Where
The
the
page.
table will be stored. Page like
Pages.
whatever pages are there.
Pages.
For example, if employee table is created on 100 pages, all the 100 pages will be deallocated when you run the truncate statement. It will deallocate all the pages of that respective object. So same, drop and truncate both are same. This also will drop the whole table. But drop you can roll back, truncate you cannot roll back, guys. Okay, truncate you cannot roll back. Why? Because it just deallocated all the pages. Drop, at least some witness is there that you dropped, again you can using that witness, you can at least again recover it. But truncate, without having any witness, it will truncate. It will simply deallocate the pages. So truncate is also going to delete the whole table, drop the whole table. But drop will record it, truncate will not record it. So you cannot roll back it, guys. Okay, the difference between delete, drop, and truncate. So these two both are similar, guys. Drop also will drop the whole table. Truncate also will drop the whole table. When it drops the whole table, all the objects will be dropped. This is clear, right? But drop, it
Yes.
will record this action, which will help to roll back and roll forward, undo and redo operations. Truncate, it will not record the action. So roll back and roll forward, undo and redo will not be possible with the truncate, guys. Okay, so in the interviews, they might ask this question sometime. Okay, so now if you are a member of this role, which role? DDL admin, you can truncate the table, guys. You can rename the table using this. You can rename, you can truncate the table and all. Okay, so guys, we'll don't use all these roles and also don't worry. Okay, so mainly database side, we'll use data reader, row, data writer, and DB owner, guys. That's it. Okay, so let's go to this security and DDL admin is over. Next is deny data reader. What is the meaning of data reader, guys? What a data reader can do normally?
He
What
can
is
do a
He
select.
can read the data.
what is the meaning of deny data reader?
He won't be able
Quite
to do
obvious.
this.
Data reader can select permission. Deny data reader, no select permission.
Denying select permission.
Clear? Now let me show you the demo. Okay. Now I have a quick question. Let me ask you this question. It's a very important question. Manasa is part of data reader role. At the same time, Manasa is part of deny data reader role. Now type your answers in the chart whether Manasa can read the data or she cannot read the data. Type your answers in the chart. Manasa.
Can you explain question?